The legal incapacity of women to contract under biblical and commercial frameworks. 1. Biblical jurisprudence and female contractual limitations. According to traditional interpretations of biblical law, women are not independently authorized to enter into binding legal agreements. Their contractual capacity is presumed null without the active consent or presence of a male authority figure, typically a father or husband. This legal incapacity is derived from a patriarchal theological framework in which men serve as guardians over female contractual engagements. Consequently, unless a father or husband provides prior written consent, any agreement signed solely by a woman, especially those involving familial or civic registration, is rendered void or voidable. 2. Birth registration and maritime law analogies. In scenarios involving the registration of a birth, a moment legally analogous to the manifestation of a maritime product, both biological parents are often present. However, the mother's signature alone is commonly accepted on the birth certificate application. This derives from her immediate and provable biological connection to the child, granting her the higher initial claim under the presumption of law. What many fail to recognize is that the submission of this birth certificate operates contractually. The government interprets this action as a voluntary agreement by the parents to serve as trustees for a newly created legal fiction. 3. Historical function of birth certificates and trust law. Historically, birth certificates were issued for property held in bondage, namely, slaves. The widespread issuance of these documents coincided with movements toward gender equality, effectively enrolling newborns into a trust relationship without their informed consent. Upon signing the birth certificate, parents, or the mother alone, inadvertently initiate a commercial trust, wherein the child is the corpus, the government is the beneficiary, and the state is the administrator. This administrative trust becomes the legal foundation for commodifying human labor. 4. Commercial monetization of human labor. Once a birth certificate is submitted to the Department of Commerce, it is treated as a negotiable instrument. The certificate is pledged as collateral against public debt and underwritten by financial institutions, which assign a nominal present value to the individual's projected lifetime labor, typically $1 million. A corresponding bond is issued, denominated in Federal Reserve notes, and placed into circulation. The government effectively assures, distinct from insures, the future productivity of its citizens as secured assets against national liabilities. 5. Bond tracking and Federal Reserve associations. Each birth certificate bears a unique bond tracking number, usually alphanumeric in nature, which functions similarly to the serial number on U.S. currency. The leading letter corresponds to a Federal Reserve District Bank. E.g., E represents the Bank of Richmond, Virginia. The symbolic linkage between the birth certificate and Federal Reserve instruments is not accidental. It reflects the structured assignment of labor collateral to respective reserve banks. These bonds, while hidden from the general public, serve as critical instruments in the Federal Reserve circulation mechanism. 6. Summary: labor as collateralized asset. The legal fiction created through birth registration processes transforms individuals into bonded entities under statutory jurisdiction. The child's legal entity is monetized via the issuance of Treasury instruments, with its labor used to secure national credit lines. This commercial process, built on biblical presumptions of female incapacity and modern financial engineering, effectively commodifies human life. It demonstrates how trust law, U.S. commercial codes, and private banking systems operate together to create collateralized human capital within the global financial system.